This video is about surfing, kids, life, and nature connection. So this past weekend we went out to one of our favorite surf spots, and it felt incredible to be out there and just watch and observe what happens with my family. My kids immediately didn't need to be for us to occupy them. They were just immersed and engaged and stimulated with the nature and all the things that were around them, and playing with rocks and sand and playing with each other. And for my wife and I, we almost immediately went into a bit of a life audit where we're talking about just what we're going through and things we may be lacking in our life or in our relationship, and how we can move forward and what we need. And that felt great. And for myself personally, when I'm out there, I just feel this relaxing of my nervous system. When I'm working in town and in the city all the time, I'm of this vibration of busyness of the city. And I go out there, and the sounds of the ocean and the forest, it just totally calms me down and recenters me, and I feel incredibly connected. And then on top of that, if I get into the water, that cold water on my body kind of like resets my circulation, and getting a couple waves just makes me incredibly stoked. So being out here this past weekend really just solidified and crystallized this mission that I'm on for the South Island. So if you've been following along, I have a few goals I'm working towards. One, on the North Island, exploring this backcountry area and trying to develop some kind of small cabin. So in the summer, we can spend a few weeks up there and just be immersed in total wilderness. And on the South Island, we have a house in Victoria, and everything's a compromise between one thing and another. And we have a great community here, and there's great schools for our children. But what I feel I'm lacking is the connection to nature. So the South Island goal is to finish our house and also build a yurt closer to the surf. And there's maybe a possibility of building on a friend's 40-acre lot in Shirley, and kind of communal vibe and vision there. And that I'd love to document. I'd love to pick up out of Oregon a yurt from Pacific Yurts, a 20-footer or 24-foot, and build a platform and a little kind of roof for it, and build this off-grid system, and be teaching people how to do that, because yurts like this are a pretty affordable way to create a dwelling, and a pretty special way, because living like that, you can really hear the forest when you're inside the yurt. So it's connecting you to nature further. And if it ends up being on that property in Shirley, there's many different visions there between a few friends, but I definitely, the guy who owns it has an excavator there. My other friend has a wood miser portable mill, so definitely see the possibility of milling up some timbers and the communal area being timber framed. And I would learn from a friend, likely, some tips and tricks, and I would dive into timber framing and document that, and we can all learn that together. And so this is the mission right now on the South Island, is to be more connected to nature through a yurt. So yes, this is the cool thing about YouTube, and this is the thing about life. You have to speak things into existence, right? I learned this a long time ago when I was a traveler. I would start telling people, you know what? Next fall, I'm going to go to China. I'm going to go to India. And then I just ended up there. I was like held accountable in a sense, and then started to have to walk that path. And so with my YouTube channel here, yes, everything's a compromise between one thing and another. And I'm trying to check all the boxes, right? With my house in Victoria, this potential yurt close to surfing on the South Island for more winter time, the shoulder seasons, and then this epic spot in the backcountry for the summer. and I want to document all this, and we can learn together, building a business and adventuring and building a yurt and all that stuff. So this is so cool that we're manifesting together by sharing this. All our minds are locking in, and we're pulling this thing in and creating. And so, yes, that's the channel. So a lot of people who are watching my stuff aren't subscribed. So subscribe if you're into content like this. The next thing, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube live, pouring self-leveling concrete on here. So maybe I'll go live later this week. Let me know if you all are into that. And yes, this is what it's all about. South Island, adventuring, North Island, adventure, surf, connection. So if there's anything you want to see, I'm going to talk a bit about Marge later this week. Maybe do a little update as I start closing this thing in. I just finished the siding. And yes, comment anything that you want to see. I'd love to help out if I can. So like, comment, subscribe. That's it. Thanks.